drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Op 'em, op 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em, drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Op 'em, op 'em.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is did Montana Love deserve to be disqualified in his fight? We're going to take a look and discuss it in
Montel Jordan come back.
The tallest R&B singer in history. All right. So here's Montana Love. Let's take a look.
Remember, we go to the scorecards.
So as you can see, let me set this up real quick. So this is after there was a headbutt, and Montana Love was being looked at by the ringside physician, and he had a gash over his eye, and he told the ringside physician that he couldn't see, and normally that would stop the fight, but the ringside physician said, "I'm gonna watch you fight for a few more minutes, and then like make a decision." So then immediately after the ringside physician sent Montana Love back in to fight, and this is what happened. Now remember, prior to this, Montana Love was dropped in the second round, and he had a few rough rounds. So where I think the guy's Scotty Love, Stevie Love, Stevie Love.
No,
Stevie what?
Well, the guy he fought?
Yeah,
Stevie Spark.
Stevie Spark, yeah. So he was probably up on the scorecards at this point in time when the headbutt happened. So Montana Love, if the fight would have stopped, it was like people were really worried that he may lose the fight. So this is what happened once the ringside physician sent him back out to fight. You see, it's like that sense of urgency. They get to the ropes.
Force.
He jumped.
Yeah, he forced it, bro.
So I'll run that back. I said, as you can see,
it's like Royal Rumble out here. You know what I'm saying?
So Montana Love gets disqualified for that.
For that?
Yes. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Conspiracy G. Do you think Montana Love deserved to be disqualified for what you saw?
No. If anything, that should have just been a warning, you know. And it looked like homeboy just jumped over. Like he looked like he was like, "Yo, let me do a little quick flip just to get out all of this tension." They didn't even look that serious. So I don't, man. Disqualification for that. I don't know. If anything, it should have been a warning, you know. But let's just say, hey, we're gonna deduct a point. I could even acknowledge a point, but to say, yo, you're disqualified for that, I didn't get to see the fight, so I'm assuming maybe it was like a lot of roughhousing throughout the fight.
Not for Montana.
Oh, so I'm thinking maybe the refs probably gave him a warning or two, like, yo, relax, like this is boxing, like, or y'all acting like this is the WWE, and so maybe then he's like, enough is enough, you know, disqualification. But if that didn't happen, and this is his first violation in the fight, like, come on, man, this ref is just doing the most. It seemed like the fix was in, you know, like, I don't know. I'm looking at that flip. It didn't even look that serious. It literally like he's leaning on him, and then homeboy is just like choosing to kind of like flip himself overward, you know, over the ring. So over the belt buckles, whatever. He's just like, yeah, I'm out of here.
So let me get this straight, G. You feel like the dude intentionally flipped over and landed on his feet?
It looked like, because think about it, if you're just leaning, let's say you're leaning it for enough, the ref would have broke it up. The ref would have just been like, all right, break. The ref didn't break it. So, but, you know, Montana Love is still leaning on him. The dude was just like, yo, man, let me just get up out of here real quick and just do some ninja backflip. And that's what he did. And then he's like looking like, like,
all right, so G, let me just say something. Let me just say something, because you probably don't know this because you didn't watch the fight, like you said. Mm-hmm. That guy, Steve Spark, is actually a CrossFitter. So he does CrossFit a lot. And you know, CrossFit, they do various types of training. And he normally gets last-minute fights. And so, like, he's confident in taking those last-minute fights because he's in shape. He stays in shape doing CrossFit. So this was one of the first times he had like an actual full training camp to train and prepare for a fighter. So let me ask you this. Do you think with his CrossFit background, does that now make you even more confident that he did that flip out of the ring on purpose?
I mean, I don't know if there's a competition where they have to do backflips, but shoot, if they do, then it's like, come on, yo. That's like, what's that thing when they do the leg ups to do ab work? They be like holding on to something, they just raise their legs all the time.
Yeah, leg raises.
Oh, leg raises, yeah. I mean, maybe he thought he could just do a quick backflip leg raise. You know what I'm saying? It just came natural to the brother. Like, and I'm just like, yo, what's this dude doing, man? And I'm being honest. Even what he did, I wouldn't. I'll give him a warning too. I'm like, yeah. If I was the ref, I'm like, yo, quit the shenanigans, both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let's fight. Like, I don't understand why the ref didn't just break it right away. Like, yeah, break, and then let these guys fight again. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't going front. Montana Love was pressing on this dude a lot, where it's like, all right, this isn't boxing anymore. Now y'all are grappling. The ref should have just broke it up. Ref should be like, hey, break, get to the center of the ring. He didn't do that, and he allowed, homeboy Captain CrossFit to do this little funny somersault out the ring. That's like, I don't know, this is weird. So yeah, he doesn't deserve to receive a disqualification at all. Max, I think, would be like to lose a point. It's not like the other guy even got injured jumping out of the ring, so it's just like, bro, even if you fall out the ring, or you get 20 seconds to come back in, he got back in the ring so fast. Like, it's not like he was hurt at all. You know what I mean? He didn't land on his neck. He didn't land on his wrist. You know what I mean? He didn't land on his ankle, twisted it or something. He was fine. So you could have just continued the fight, and if anything, lose a point or just give the man a warning, but not a disqualification. That was corny.
All right, Trill Dollar Bill.
Okay. Did Montana Love deserve a DQ? No. I think that it was a little bit forced. The flip it was a little bit forced. And and the guy wasn't injured. And everything leading up to this. Okay. First of all, shout outs to Stevie Sparks. He came in here with the first time getting a real full training camp, and he came out here ready for his shot. All he wanted to do was beat up Montana Love, and that's what he was coming out there to do. And he dropped him in the second, like you said, with a great right hand that Montana didn't see, and it dropped him down hard, right? Mm-hmm. But to Montana Love, I wasn't really set on him. I thought, not yet. I just think he was one of the people that was just thought he was had the goods before he had the goods, And I think sometimes I don't know. I don't know. I'm still up in the air with Montana Lover, but this is what I would say. He was. To me, I think he was trying to put on a show for the crowd, the hometown crowd, and he was so busy looking past Spark. And that's a thing that a lot of fighters make this mistake of doing, looking past their opponent that's in front of them. He's worried about the back and forth with him and Richardson, and worried about other things that's going on instead of worried about the guy in front of him. And the guy in front of him is just worried about the guy in front of him. Spark was just worried about Love. Montana Love worried about everything else but the guy in front of him, and it showed. Montana Love did some impressive things in there. He landed some good shots, but Stevie wasn't being phased. He was walking through some of those hard right hands that Montana Love was throwing. He wasn't trying to be deterred. It sucks that they had that bad headbutt. Because then Montana did go to the corner and he said he couldn't see. Right when the fighter says he can't see, my brother alluded to, like right there, that's when the commission or the guys, the ringside physician should wave the fight off, because you're there to protect the fighter. So when he came out there, you can't see. So he's got to defend himself when he can't see. So you can see he's trying to wrap him up. And the guy, Stevie, is just being a little extra, being so jittery while he's trying to wrap him up. And he does the extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? And he flips over. You know, if anything, they should have gave it another count, give everybody some time, wipe the gloves off. If they wanted to continue, go ahead.
Right.
But you can tell that Montana Love was totally shooken up from that headbutt, you know, and it wasn't an intentional headbutt. It happens between, you know, when you got a southpaw fighter and you got an orthodox fighter and how the angles, it happens. You know, nobody was at fault at this. It's just what happens in boxing. They need to run it back. They need to run it back. And Montana Love, focus on the guy in front of you, you know, and just know that he's the problem, especially if he got a full training camp, you know, and he can take a shot and he's going to be coming forward no matter what.
That's
Stevie
a different
ain't
guy
playing.
with a full training camp.
For real. Listen, they've been trying, you know, they thought he was fooled. They thought he was fooled because, you know, he was taking things on short notice. Now look what happens when he gets a full training camp.
But could Montana Love petition to get this disqualification removed?
And be considered like a non-contest?
Yeah, like a non-contest.
That's what he said. He said he's going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can do that and get that a non-contest. Yeah, he can do
But
that.
I don't know if he'll get it though.
But,
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you gotta see how the rules is laid out. But hey, I guess I don't know. I don't know this. But Montana Love, you need to focus mainly on boxing and not the extra stuff. The being flashy and the worried about the crowd and worried about other fighters that you ain't even in the ring yet. Worry about the opponent that's across from you, you know, because he was worried about you and it showed. He was on point. In a rematch, he's definitely gonna come out fired because he know he can hurt you, you know. So just be on point, and I need to run that back. And if I was them, I wouldn't do it in Ohio. I wouldn't do it in Ohio.
All right, TV.
Man, I wouldn't disqualify them, but I see why they did it. It's just like you threw a fighter out the ring. Yeah, he might have flipped. The fighter might have like thrown himself over or whatever. But that could have been. It could have been more like the outcome of that incident could have been worse than what we expected. Yeah, he landed on his feet. Yeah, he was ready to fight. But some fighters don't land on their feet. Some fighters may land on their neck, on their head, break their back, spinal, things like that. So I'm just saying the outcome of that action could have led to something more severe than what happened last night. So I understand the DQ, and I'm not mad at the DQ, but they do need to run it back. Like, straight like that. They just need to run it back. Like, who's the better fighter out of them? They need to run it back, and simple as that. He didn't beat Love. He was thrown out the ring. And Love, you gotta be more patient. If you're that frustrated in the ring, where you're throwing fighters out the ring, like, that's insane. This is not WrestleMania. This is not Royal Rumble. You feel me? But I'm not mad at the ref's decision. I'm just like shocked that this happened. Like it led to this point where, I'm so angry. Throw him out the ring. Like, you know, what it looked like. Yeah, it could have been acted. Like, yeah, the fighter was like, oh, he want to throw me out the ring? Cool, I'm gonna show him I can land on my feet and I'm ready to get back in. And you know, certain fights, I don't know when it comes to this type of. I've never seen this like to this point where it's like, yo, you were thrown out the ring. Not, like some fighters fall out the ring, but he was thrown out the ring. Like, do you want to continue? If you don't want to continue, it's a disqualification. Like, you know, either you have the choice. I don't know if they give him the choice, but I'm not mad at the ref's decision. You know, it wasn't clean boxing. Boxing is science of hitting and not getting hit and not getting thrown out the ring. So, you know, that was not sweet science.
Accountability. You know what I'm saying? Accountability. That man flipped out the ring. Montana was trying to hold him. That man flipped out the ring and then hopped in the ring and was ready to fight and get it on again. And Montana was ready to get it on again too. You know,
now that you guys have, I want to see it again because I never considered the perspective that he may have just flipped out of the ring on his own. So now that you guys are saying that, let me take a look at it, like from that lens to see. All right, so Montana's trying to hold him. He's holding him against the ropes.
Just holding. See, he chose to jump out.
Yeah, actually, you can see.
No.
Whoa, hold up, yo, TBE, hold on for a second. Yo, he actually does flip out on his own. You know how you can see he holds the rope for leverage.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, watch his right hand. He holds the rope. I'm talking about Steve Spark. Watch his right hand hold the rope and then just flip out.
He goes, whoop. Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You didn't know I was a stunt double, huh? You know
yeah. So he actually did that on purpose. Because if you watch,
just a little flare. He wanted to have a little flare. He didn't think he was going
to look. Also, look at Montana Love's right hand. He's holding the rope like to hold him how Joe Joyce was doing to Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
He's pulling back against the rope. You see? So Montana Love is pulling back against the rope. And then Steve just says, I'm gonna flip out of this because I can do that because I'm like that. Watch Love. Love's pulling against the ropes, pulling it back in this direction, and he flips out. So he actually does it on his own.
He's like, he didn't know I was Spider-Man, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He said, he didn't know I was flashy too.
Salute, G. You talked me into that, G, and I can actually see it, yo. I can actually see it
after
now.
we reviewed it again. I did shout out to the ref. The ref did try to break it up, though. I was like, the ref should have just broke it up.
But the problem is, the ref was on the side where he couldn't see what Steve Spark was doing. Mm-hmm. So actually, if I'm Team Love, what I want them to focus on, we're just going to review it again one more time, is review Montana Love's hands, because Montana Love is actually holding the ropes and pulling it back in the opposite direction of what would be throwing him over. Exactly. Like, look at Love's hands. If you see
what Joe Joyce did
he's holding the ropes and he pulls the ropes back in this way. And it's actually Steve who uses his momentum in his right hand to flip out the ring on his own to break the hold. Like as if he wanted to send a message to Love, like, you can't hold me. See, Love's pulling the ropes in. And then he flips over.
Out of here.
Yeah.
He shows his athleticism.
Yeah.
He showed his athleticism.
Yeah, it was like he wanted to mind F Montana.
He was flexing on him. He was flexing on him. You know what I'm saying?
You can't hold me.
You can't hold me, baby. You know what I'm saying? Stevie was going to spark him out. That's why his name is Stevie Spark, because he was going to spark him out. You know what I'm saying?
All right, go ahead, TVE. You still got the floor, man.
Yeah, from playing that back, it's a little suspect, but I feel like he capitalized off of that moment. Steve Spark capitalized off that moment, and if you go over the ropes, it's just I'm still not mad at the ref's decision. Like, the band went over the ropes. If somebody gets thrown out the ring, if he didn't land on his feet, it'll be a whole other thing. Like, damn, that was dirty.
Landed on his feet because he's the one who did it, and he knew he was going to land on his feet.
I can see what Ned's saying. Like, the ref at that moment giving them the DQ, even though I don't agree with it, at least the ref is justified from his angle. But
yeah, from his angle.
When the commission looks over it, they should be like, nah, that's not a disqualification, bro. No contest.
I did. I looked over it and I said it's not a DQ.
You heard what he said.
You know what I mean?
So
but that should just be a no contest. Hopefully, if they get it right.
Hopefully, when they review it, they see like, yeah, this was just like once in a lifetime situation. Like, but I feel in the moment that the ref wasn't wrong. Like, the fighter just got thrown out the ring. I don't know what happened to this dude. I'm from what angle? I'm not on both sides. Like, there's not multiple refs in the ring to like judge it like football. But the dude flew over the ring. Yo, he's out the ring. I don't know. He stood up on his feet. He's back in. But who knows? Some people fall down, get back up, and they're not ready to get back into the fight because the shock sets in, and then things start to collapse. But I'm not mad at the decision. Yo, just run it back. That's all I say.
Ref had a
Like,
long night.
I
I
don't
feel
know,
like
like
he
a
was
headbutt when
stretching
you
all
tell
the
a ref, I can't continue to fight.
fat.
Oh, you'll be all right.
I was
You
a
know?
ringside physician who was like, go in there and fight a few
Yeah,
more
that's
minutes
what I'm
and
saying.
I'll see.
You ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. Go in there and get
Shake it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my perspective on this is a few things. For one, I really didn't like the way Montana Love started the fight. What I mean by that is he was just doing a lot of talking, like, yeah, I see it, talking about like Steve Spark, and he could see his punches coming. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, bro, you real cocky. Like,
for no reason.
I always tell people this, yo,
But there's a reason. There's a reason.
Yo,
Yeah.
but he got caught with the old trick too, because you thought you could see him coming until you did it, and then you were on the floor. Yo, everybody doesn't throw every punch as fast as they can, and everybody doesn't show their hand early. And in fact, I'm just telling you this because I was taught this. Champions don't. Champions actually hold back early so they can let the challengers get a false sense of security, and then champions lay the wood on them. So, like, a lot of people are trained to fill out the first round, to ease your way into a fight, particularly champions, because when you're a champion, you believe you're going to get the benefit of the doubt anyway. So you ease your way into the fight. And it's the young guns, the challengers, the people who aren't used to the spotlight, who come out guns blazing. And the champs normally just sit there, relax, and people be like, he can hang with the champ the first 3 rounds. And then by round 7, the dude's getting like beat to a pulp, and everyone's like, oh, this is not looking good for the challenger. Like, you know, so I don't know why he's out there in the first 2 rounds, like, oh, I can see it. I can see it. And then he got dropped talking that I can see it crap. And then all of a sudden he wasn't talking anymore. Then all of a sudden he's doing some holding. He was landing some good punches and still wasn't hurting Steve Spark. Now, let me point this out. Steve Spark was bigger and probably outweighed him by like 20 pounds by the time they stepped in that ring. But that's even more reason to respect your opponent, bro. Like, yeah, you may be more talented. You may be a better boxer, like he said at the end of the fight. But that dude is big and strong, fam. Like, you got to respect that. You can't just play around with that. You got to be sharp. You got to be on your toes. You got to understand that that is a powerful dude in front of you. Not just a powerful dude as you saw when he flipped out of that ring. That's an athletic dude in there. That's a big, powerful, strong, athletic CrossFitter in the ring with you. Can he box like you? No. But he's athletic, he's strong, and he's dangerous. So you got to respect him. But you sitting in there playing, and that's your problem. You played around a little too much, and he clipped you. He clipped you because you thought, oh, I can see it, I can see it. And then all of a sudden, he turned it up on you because you didn't think he had another gear. But he had another gear, and he turned it up on you twice because there was another point in that fight where he turned it up on Montana, and Montana was in that corner, and I'm like, oh, he might stop him.
Now he's gonna stop.
Yeah, like he might
and
stop
it's so
him.
crazy. Yeah. It's ironic that you brought that up, bro. Cause you was like, "Yep, I can see that right hand. I can see that right hand."
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Yeah. No, you didn't.
Exactly.
No, you
Bro,
didn't.
I was watching how cocky he was. Yo, I swear, you know how I am, bro. I was like, he gonna get caught. Watch. I could just tell. Because once you start doing that, if I'm the other guy, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get his A. Because I know I'm gonna set him up. I'm like, oh, you think, you know what I mean? It reminds me, like I said, like, gee, I don't know if you remember, he said he watched the show. Salute to him anyway, Fred. He thought that he was faster than me. Yeah. Because I don't know, like he hits the mitts as fast as he can all the time or whatever. I work. Sometimes I go fast. Sometimes I just go at a medium pace. So I don't throw every punch as hard and as fast as I can. I like my hands. I like being able to make a fist. I like, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I'll hit you hard when I need to. Like, you know what I mean? I'll turn it up when I need to. Like, bro, Montana, like I said, you know, I don't think that he should be headlining fights. I don't think he's that guy, but you know what it is. Eddie Hearn needs to make another star because, you know, the zone's in trouble. And Eddie's matchmaking is questionable once again. I'm not going to get into that. But he puts him in there with this guy who's no slouch. And I'm just sitting there like, yo, this is supposed to be a showcase fight. He should have gave him the guy Hitchison fought. Shoot, because this guy was the real deal. Like, that guy's athletic, strong, and a bull. But anyway, getting back to this fight, I feel like Montana Love was very fortunate that fight didn't meet its conclusion, because I don't know if he was prepared for that fight. And I'm being 100% honest with you. It looked like it looked like Steve Spark was breaking him down. It looked like Steve Spark was going to stop him in the later rounds. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like round by round, Steve Spark was gaining confidence, and he was getting closer and closer to landing a big, powerful right hand on Montana Love and stopping him. And Montana Love knew that. And I feel like Montana Love gave the impression that he was looking for a way out of the fight. When he was like, oh, I can't see. And I feel like the ringside physician felt like,
boy, if you don't get back in there and fight.
You know what I'm saying? The ringside physician put the light on his eyes, and his pupils like reacted to the light. And he was like, you can't see? No, I can't see. The ringside physician was like, you can't see. I can't see. Reaction. I'm going to give you a few more minutes to go out there and try to gain you some confidence, right? So then he goes back out there, and then there's this roughhouse tactics. And although you see that Montana Love is pulling the ropes forward towards him, when Steve flips out of the ring, it's the impression that you didn't want the fight. You didn't want to continue, and you were looking for a way out that led to you being DQ'd. You understand? And like the DQ was probably the best thing that happened to him, because even if they don't overturn it, he's going to say, I didn't lose, I got DQ'd, and I was going to come back and win. That's his story, and he's sticking to it. But if that does turn into a no contest and they have to go into it again, now he knows I got to take this guy seriously.
Facts.
And getting into the Richard Hitchison thing. Richard Hitchison, I don't know how good this dude is. I know he has a hell of a jab, but I also know that he hasn't been in there with the best competition yet. Nah. But I'm just going to tell you this much. If you would have fought Richard Hitchison that night, the way you was looking and the way he was looking, I know Hitch generally wants to take your head off. I do know that. And I know Hitch ain't coming getting massages, getting oils rubbed on him and trying to look like, nah, I know Hitch is a hungry dude. I know that. So, and I'm not saying Montana Love can't beat Hitchison. I don't know how good Hitchison is. But as far as speed, athleticism, and all that, you're gonna be in for it, dog. You're gonna be in for it. That dude's a problem. And 140's looking excellent. With
he's
Hitch,
hungry.
Yeah.
He's hungry. Hitches. Yeah. That boy is hungry.
Yeah. You got Hitch. You got Devin gonna move up. You got Teofimo Lopez. And I'm not sure any of them want to see Hitch. Martina, I'm saying right now, people are looking at you, they rather fight you than Hitch after last night. That's all I'm saying. Because you seem more flash. You seem like you're more bark than bite. You seem like you're more concerned with the glam and trying to be a celebrity than actually being a dog and being a fighter. It seems like you come with the dog, but you don't bring the dog. You know what I'm saying?
You don't even got a little real dog. He got some little old dog, small dog who got his own Instagram page. They talk more about your dog than they
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. You come with the dog, but you don't bring the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like dog. I mean, I get it. Like the persona is part of it, but you don't want to be like so much persona that you forget that you are a fighter at the end of the day. And it just didn't seem like Montana Love wanted to fight. And the impression I got was he was looking for a way out. And the impression that I got was that if that fight continued, Steve Spark was going to stop Montana Love. And it was going to be ugly in Cleveland. It was going to be an ugly night in Cleveland. But it got stopped. Do I think he deserved to be DQ? No, I don't think he deserved to be DQ because salute to G. Going in, I kind of felt like Montana Love was a little extra. And he was a little extra. But when you really look at it, you can see that Steve flipped himself over the rope. So I don't think he should have been DQ'd for that. But it may have been a blessing in disguise.
Captain CrossFit.
He was mad jittery in that corner, man. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Box.